for a date? Well, you don't even have to ask because we got you covered. It's always going to be a yes right here in the PVL, the heart of volleyball.
It is a great day for volleyball. We are back here at the Phil Sports Arena for your Volleyball Tuesday doubleheader. It is Valentine's week and we are very excited because you are right here at the heart of volleyball today. Our doubleheader starts off with Petro Gazz Angels going up against the Capital1 Solar Spikers, teams on opposite sides of the rankings. Petro Gazz red hot while the Capital1 Solar Spikers looking to change their luck today. And later on, the team that has a spotless record so far, Dreamline Cool Smashers, will be challenged by the Farm Fresh Foxies. And we are glad you're on hand for our telecast today. We are at day 27 already of the PVL All-Filipino Conference, which I think is on record the longest that we've ever had.
Pretty sure, and when I was at the dugout, I was telling the teams na last 2 weeks na, the elimination rounds, they were also just as surprised.
Yeah, and you know, Neil, this format is very new to many. So it's a contrast to what we remember seeing in the conference before this. That everything was sudden death. Ngayon, everybody has a second chance. But what we're looking at are teams who want to end at the right side of the standings, because while you get a second chance at the play-in, it gets harder and harder to stay in.
Let's take a look at the team standings. First, right now, the Petro Gazz Angels are sitting comfortably at the number 2 spot. They enter this game with a 6-game winning streak, and the only loss that they had was against the Creamline Cool Smashers, who are still undefeated in this tournament. And for the Capital1 Solar Spikers, they showed so much potential in the reinforced conference. They started the preliminary round with strong matches, but they find themselves in a hole because they've lost their 5 games, and all of those games were in 3 sets. So they do want to bounce back today against the Petro Gazz Angels.
Yeah, well, of course, my partner here, Neil Flores, you know what you're talking about because you've seen all of these teams, and you're right, it seems to get harder and harder for Cap 1. On the other hand naman, itong Petro Gazz Angels, red hot, their only loss is to the undefeated team, which is Creamline. And they actually have it easy from here on. So they only have galleries and next sled to play. But let's look at how they are going to be attacking this game after that awesome performance by both Myla Pablo and Brooke Van Sickle in that 4-game win against Zeus Coffee.
When they entered that match, they knew that Zeus Coffee would be dangerous. Zeus Coffee pushed a lot of teams into 5 sets, but they really backed on the services of their 2 MVPs. Brooke Van Sickle tallied 27 points with a 39% attacking efficiency, and Myla Pablo continues to display her resurgence here in the All-Filipino Conference. Big numbers, definitely. They had the most number of attempts when it comes to attacks. So looking at this game, the other players also need to make their presence felt. Para pagpasok natin ng next round, mas katatakutan pa yung Petro Gazz Angels.
But the thing about Petro Gazz Angels in this particular conference, talagang Myla Pablo has come in as if she were fresh off the, di ba? Parang the college tracks. Parang she is so sprightly, she's so energetic, and we love seeing her doing her thing, and she is so back. But Jana, the thing that you're telling us kanina about is how Brooke Van Sickle, parang you see her perform on the court, but it turns out she is a lifelong learner who is always looking to learn more every time she plays.
Of course, and just like what you mentioned, lifelong learner, because that last match against Zeus Coffee definitely exposed some lapses within the game of Petro Gazz. But going back, I just want to add to that Brooke and Myla conversation. You know, this is really the dynamic duo of Petro Gazz, and on the lapses against Zeus, they were just really surprised with the young ones, Chiki and Neil. And the joke nga in the dugout was that young ones daw yung Zeus Coffee, young ones ONES. And then yung Petro Gazz naman, young ones din, young ones ONCE. That's from them, Tama, that was the joke in the dugout. But yes, they were surprised about it. And after that in training, they went back to the basics, learning service reception. Well, they're looking good in the standings and they can't make any more mistakes.
Natatawa ko kasi lagi ko naririnig niyan joke na yan and I'm always the butt of it. But no, you're talking about, the Zeus, very young in numbers. Chronologically speaking, mas advanced, talaga mas experienced ang Petro Gazz. Pero in terms of now what they're bringing on the court and the way they want to just keep on improving is really great. This girl, on the other hand, MJ Phillips, we missed her for so long because of that nagging foot injury, but she is so back. And she was the other player from Petro Gazz who scored in double digits.
She was the third Angel who scored in double digits. She was very excited entering that game because she was up against the #1 rookie draft pick in Thea Gagata. And there's always something about veterans going up against the newbies. And she just really showed why she is one of the best middle blockers of the PVL. She did score 10 points and she is looking to maintain that output today against Capital 1.
Let's stay on that whole theme of learning because that is something that definitely Capital 1 is in for today. It's going to be tough, let's face it, because Petro Gazz is doing so well. But we have the young ones, as in talaga literally the young ones also, who are showing what they're made of and are out to prove that they are going to be brave against the veterans. Starting off with these two, Trisha Genesis and Leila Cruz. Leila Cruz in particular, who has been scoring the most for Cap 1.
Just by looking at the numbers, you can get a sense of what happened in that last game. They really struggled on offense. No player reached the double-digit mark, but it was Trisha Genesis and Leila Cruz who scored 6 points apiece to just really help their offense. But today, they need more definitely if they want to win against a veteran team like Petro Gazz.
Ito si Trisha Genesis, I'm sure. Meron pa rin pagsasanay. She's still getting used to her new team. We know that she moved from Akari. But what I want to know, Jana, is may epekto ba sila sa isa? We always talk about them as a tandem, si Leila and si Trisha.
Oh, I'm pretty sure because I got to talk to Leila Cruz a while ago and she tells me nakakawa daw siya kay Trisha in terms of contributions. Aside daw from points, energy rin daw yung dala nila sa court. That kind of boost of energy daw na kinakailangan ng Capital 1, not just in training, but also, in the games. Leila shared with me na 11th in the standings, that is a low point. So this is where it comes in besides points, it's really this kind of morale that she brings. And on a more personal note, Leila also shared with me that a game ago, she was scoreless against Akari. She had a slight knee problem, but she had 6 points in the previous game, and that's something to look forward to for her today, that confidence.
Personal victories always count, and that is what we're looking forward to as far as Capital 1 is concerned. And we want to talk about one more player. Let's mention that this is also going to be a game of defensive players. We're looking at the teams that are in #2 and #4 defensively, and Diggs. And this girl is ranked #5. Roma Doromal is going to bring it today.
Back in the rookie draft night, the teams really focused on the attackers, and Roma Doromal was picked in the 2nd round. But she is currently the #3 digger in the league. So I would say that she was a big steal in that position for Capital 1.
#3 pala, ang taas, and that's what puts them really up there as a team also in defense. Ang sarap ng usapan natin. I bet these guys watching, they also want to get in on the action. How can they join us with our game?
Well, of course, on the Pilipinas Live app, and everyone watching, there's a question right below your stream, as always, because we are asking today which libero will have a lovely time on the defense. Will it be Pilar Barbon of the Petro Gazz Angels or Roma Darmal of the Capital 1 Solar Spikers? Well, you know what? I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. But Chiki and Neil, why don't we get this game to go?
Yeah, let's do that. And I love this whole Valentine's theme also. Kaya nakapula tayo. Si Bilang sakto yung pangalan niya.
Exactly.
And Roma is short for romance. Wow! It's Valentine's week! Give me a break, but this is the Heart of Volleyball. We'll be back to get the party started after the break.
Which teammate will make a great referee? Lahat may itang ulo eh.
Ayoko sabihin.
Sabi mo na. Hi, I'm Myla Pablo.
Hi, I'm Junel Cheng.
Let's play on. Which teammate do you think can be a pro in another sports?
Sinang. Football. Kasi di ba nakikita niyo naman sa game, sinisipa lang niya yung bola, buhay na agad.
Siya lang yung nakakagawa sa amin nung sa training and sa game.
Which teammate would you choose to be stranded with for a month? For me, siguro si Rem. Kasi marunong siya magluto and magaling siya sa lahat.
Actually, si Mami A, after training, before training, kumakain kami sa labas. Tinitreat ko siya, tinitreat din niya ako. Minsan, paggaling akong Tarlac, pinapadalan ko siya ng food galing sa nanay ko.
Ako wala.
Next time.
Which teammate could be a courtside reporter?
Chami. Kasi si Chami kasi galing. Ang galing niya mag-pronounce. Which teammate would you bring on beach vacation?
Yung ka-vibe ko na lang. Si MJ. Picture-picture siya, tapos ako upo lang sa gilid.
Ako, si
Mami A ulit.
Alam mo yun, parang parehas kami ng vibe. Minsan sa pagkain, minsan sa mga mag-church kami, minsan para kami mag-beach. Pero syempre, kailangan talaga pagplanuhan namin for this. So, I hopefully na makapunta kami.
Sama ako ha.
Sama si Cheng pala. Laging sama.
Siyempre, anak din ako ni Mami.
Sabi mo na. Tara, play na tayo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Phil Sports Arena, Pasig City, Philippines. This is match number 55 in the Premier Volleyball League All-Filipino Conference 2025 between the Petro Gazz Angels and the Capital1 Solar Spikers. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our officials for this match. Our first referee, Angelo Hao, Asian International Referee Candidate. The second referee is Erlindo Eusebio, National Referee. And now let's meet the starters. First, for the Petro Gazz Angels. Middle blocker from the Far Eastern University, number 9, team captain, Ram Palma. Center from the College of St. Benil, number 2, Janelle Cheng. Opposite hitter from the University of Santo Tomas, number 8, Aiza Maizo Pontillas. Outside spiker from the University of Hawaii, number 10, Brooke Van Sickle. Middle blocker from Juniata College, number 13, MJ Phillips. Outside spiker from the National University, number 15, Myla Pablo. Starting libero from UST, number 23, Baby Love Barbon. And the head coach for Petrogas is Koji Tsuzurabara. And now let's meet the starters for the Capital1 Solar Spikers. Outside spiker from the National University, number 18, Captain Jorel Singh. Middle blocker from Jose Rizal University, number 2, Sid Niegos. Outside spiker from Anderson University, number 6, Trisha Genesis. Middle blocker from De La Salle University, number 5, Des Clemente de Guzman. Center from the University of San Francisco, number 10, Iris Tonanada. Opposite hitter from De La Salle University, number 22, Leila Cruz. Starting libero from the Ateneo de Manila University, number 19, Roma May Doromal. And the head head coach for Capital One is Roger Correa. This game is held under the supervision and regulation of the King and the Sword. And in Petro Gazz, Capital One, this
You're
is
looking at the starters for the
PVL,
Petro Gazz
the heart
Angels
of
taking on
volleyball.
Capital1 Solar Spikers in our first of our doubleheader this Volleyball Tuesday. Chiki Roapuno with Neil Flores and Jana Ejido to complete our panel. And as we talked about this matchup at the pre-game, medyo magkaiba, no? We look at the starters now for Capital One. It's the same starters, I believe, from the last game. And see, Coach Roger is really looking for that, perhaps the answer to the question of how he can change his luck even late in the first round of our All-Filipino.
Well, even if they're on a losing streak right now, Capital One still has a good chance of making it if they find the right combination of players.
As Myla Pablo will draw first blood, she is the first to score for Petro Gazz. Quite fitting, as we have also been really celebrating with Myla Pablo and the rest of her fans how she is back and come full circle back in her old team.
She didn't have a lot of playing time, the reinforced conference, but she has found her way back to the starting unit of the Petro Gazz Angels. Kaya nga siya tinawag na Bagyong Pablo. Now they have 2 MVPs on offense mode.
2 straight points for Pablo, starting off with that attack and now an ace. Petro Gazz with a 7-1 record. They are in second place. And that is care of that good first ball na inihatid ni Roma Doromal. And a good conversion here for Cap 1. Negos with a point.
Iris Talonada has to be creative. We know that Petro Gazz is also a defensive team, not just in front, but also in their backcourt. So she has to get all of their hitters involved.
Francisco will get another chance, hitting it off the block. And we know that Francisco is a marked man. Siya talaga yung babantayan because she has consistently been giving the biggest output for Petro Gazz. Currently the 4th best scorer in the league. First service error from MJ Phillips. Who, by the way, we are happy to say is back with a vengeance after being sidelined by that foot injury.
And she's still working through some aspects of her game. Hindi pa ito yung normal na numbers ni MJ Phillips at kakailanganin talaga siya pagdating ng next rounds ng PVL.
Ayla Cruz, and she was looking for the corner pocket, missed it. And that's a point for Petro Gazz. And Jana Ejido has an early report for us.
That's right, Chiki and Neil. And I remember you both talking earlier about Roma Doromal being the 3rd best digger here in the league. And you know what? When I caught up with her back at the dugout and I shared that stat with her, she was actually very surprised. That all she had to tell me was, as a non-scoring player, she's just glad to know that she's doing her role well, especially with her team going through this roller coaster, still learning, still growing, and overall a humbling experience. After all, it's the penultimate game of the elimination rounds for the Capital1 Solar Spikers, and humbling is how she would describe her journey here in her first All-Filipino conference in the PVL. What do you think, Chiki and Neil?
She already showed her wares. Ito nga, kanina pa nagpapakita itong si Roma Doromal. And she is, parang if you're looking for a steady player, you have to be steady if you're a libero. But characteristically, ganun yung personality din niya.
And that's a libero. Alam mong iiwas sa'yo ng servers yung bola. So sometimes inaagawan nila yung other players once they see the ball path. And yun yung ginagawa ni Roma Doromal. That's why they've been passing steadily the past few sequences. We have an early challenge from the Petro Gazz Angels. It is the reaching beyond the net challenge.
Capital One able to keep in step with their opponents. They're only down by 2 points. And again, we also talked about the way this tournament is set up, where everybody gets a chance to play in. So you want to end in the higher rungs so that you get a week off. Diba, habang naglalaban-laban yung mga nasa ilalim. It's not going to be easy, but everybody still gets a chance. Reaching beyond the net challenge. Explain that?
Well, usually nangyayari to sa mga joust. We have to check kung nasaan yung bola, kung kaninong airspace, so that we can determine if there was reaching beyond the net violation.
So technically, for those who are just learning about the game, you cannot, hindi dapat lumagpas dun sa net yung kamay mo.
Yes. Habang nasa kabilang side ng court, bawal mong agawin papunta sa court mo.
Does it look like she stayed in her lane? Yeah, and that's what the call is telling us. There's no violation.
Point will be awarded to the Petro Gazz Angels for that successful challenge.
So they said there's no reaching beyond the net. Maybe the call earlier was a reaching call and they challenged it. But in any case, Petro Gazz will get the point. They're now up by 4. Good first ball. Singh, Cruz, dug by Pablo. And Sickle challenged. Maiso Pontillas. And we're seeing the good defense that we're expecting from both teams. Rally here. That low set worked out. Quick.
Fast back quick play from Rem Palma and Janelle Cheng. This is the rotation na kailangan mapaikot ng Capital1 because when you take a look at the front line of Petro Gazz, it's Van Sickle, Maiso Pontillas, and Remy Palma. So quick side outs are very important in this rotation. They do get it.
Yes.
Nakakaikot sila.
With almost the same play, just using these quicks. Also from the sneaky one, I think they have to get really creative with their offense because we know that the digging is good on both sides. One-handed set. Not quite pan out for Petro Gazz, and Capital1 will get that point.
Capital1 needs to take advantage of their heavy serving. You want that delay dun sa offense ng Petro Gazz, especially when Janelle Cheng is calling the shots, because we know that she delivers these sets as fast as she can.
Yeah.
Pag posible. And now, Leila Cruz will get an ace against the libero of Petro Gazz.
Sabi niya, wag na natin i-delay. Patayin na lang natin yung bola. That is what Capital1 needs right now, really, a surge of points. Ayaw nilang magpaiwan sa Petro Gazz. And from the right pin, Van Sickle will score again. That's point number 2 for Brooke. And we are at our first technical timeout. Petro Gazz leads by 3. Arena Plaza, Astig sa Sports. Back at the Phil Sports Arena for our Tuesday doubleheader. Chicky Roapuno, Neil Flores, and Jana Ejido to complete our panel. And we have an exciting couple of games today featuring the number 1 and number 2 teams. Creamline is up next, going up against Farm Fresh tonight. But we are enjoying this matchup with Cap 1 keeping in step with Petro Gazz. And look at the defense of the Solar Spikers. A lot of broken plays from Petro Gazz. That one too deep from Nang Aisa.
Just the right amount of power to get past the double block set up by the Capital1 Solar Spikers. Bitin lang ng 1 or 2 steps itong si Leila Cruz for that dig.
Oh, that one's inside. Good heads up for Tolenada saving the ball there. Petro Gazz will get a chance again. Pablo from the left. That's called outside. Myla Pablo insisting on a check ball.
Too much angle. Sabi rin ni Remy Palma, there was no check ball.
They're going to let that one go. Looks like Cap 1 will end up with the point and the serve. That was a tough serve. Broken play. Pablo. Dug by Doromal. Jorel Singh. One-handed block. That one sails out. That's a point for the team captain.
That'll be the first point, I believe, for Jorel Singh. She has been the target of the serves. So, pag umikot siya sa harap, she can focus on attacking. She can ask help from Roma Doromal.
Again, that back quick. And we know the Palma-Chen connection. We don't question that anymore. Sa tagal na nila magkasama. Nararamdaman ni Janelle Cheng pag nandun na sa likod si Rem.
Remy Palma only scored 4 points in their last game against Zeus Coffee, but here in the opening set, she has already tallied 3.
Oh, good pass there. Doromal. Palma gets a hand on it as Pablo goes up. And again, nabitin.
Yeah.
4 points already for Myla Pablo.
The defenders at the back really need to move forward because the Capital1 Solar Spikers are actually getting good rebounds. So it is important to give that support behind your blockers kasi sayang na napapabagal nila yung bola pero walang nakakuha sa likuran.
Some in-court adjustments due here for Cap 1. That one a little too much. Good idea. You knew what you wanted to do there, but it was the execution. And we have a timeout.
Gagawin ninyo, pupwesto kayo. Pag short yung bola, tinatalon nyo. Hindi nyo ihakbang yung mga paan nyo. Anong mangyayari sa atin? Hindi kayo humahakbang. Dive kayo ng dive dyan. Ang lalayo nung dinadive nyo hakbang nyo muna para umabot kayo dun sa bola. Hindi yung padating sa inyo yung bola, dumadive na kaagad kayo. Wala tayong depensa eh.
Exactly to your point, Neil, that they have to reposition themselves knowing yung dating ng bola is na, kasi dahil nasa stop din naman ng blockers.
That's why you have 2 lines of defense. The blockers have been working hard para makuha ng mga touches dun sa atake ng Petro Gazz Angels. So you have to be aggressive also when you're in the backcourt. You have to keep on moving. You have to move forward. Kailangan anticipate mo talaga kung saan mapupunta yung bola.
That service error is a chance here for Capital 1. And you gotta give them A for effort because we know that blocking is not Capital 1's strongest suit. But still, they make the effort of at least slowing the ball down. Pablo. And again, the defense, Capital 1 just keeps the ball alive. And that one is outside. Myla Pablo, that was a pretty combination attack. And Pablo is on a rampage already. 5 for her. And we have Nicole Jameson coming in for Maisa Pontillas. You mentioned, Neil, early on how it is also incumbent upon the rest of the team to start showing up, because we are at the stage of this tournament where all the players have to contribute. And we are seeing now Myla Pablo outscoring Van Sickle this early, which is a good sign for Petro Gazz. Oh, that one is so in. So Capital1 looking to go deep against Petro Gazz. At spike of the set, brought to you by Duncan. Pasalubong ng bayan.
The quick hits have been working for the Capital1 Solar Spikers at mangyayari lang yan pag maging consistent sila in service reception.
And MJ Phillips. That will be her first. More time on that last play. Again, these just quick conversions. The middles very active today. Care of Janelle Ching really feeding the middles.
Petro Gazz is just playing in system, and Coach Koji Tsurabara is a coach na mahilig magpaikot ng tao. You will see a lot of double substitutions throughout this game.
And Phillips again, just doing damage from the middle. Two in a row.
Clearly, one blocker is not enough to stop MJ Phillips. So you have to try your best to set up at least a two-woman block.
And it seems like MJ Phillips is making sure that there will be no chance for a rebound. Talagang dinidiin niya eh. Patay na patay yung bola niya straight to the ground. Wow. Good hustle there by Tolonada to keep the ball in play. Combination attack. Red by Cap1. And somebody was at the net. It's going to be called against Solar Spikers. I think it was Jorelsi. And Petro Gazz leads now by 7 in our second technical timeout. SB Finance, ang BFF na malalapitan. And we are back here at the Phil Sports Arena. The crowd enjoying the action early in our doubleheader early in the evening. And we are here much later for the Creamline Cools matches going against the Farm Fresh Foxies for the second game. Glad you are joining us for day 27. Hard to believe. Nasa day 27 tayo, preliminary round pa rin, Neil.
And teams are playing for seeding. Because in the qualifying round, only 6 teams will get sure seats papunta sa ating playoffs. The others be relegated into that play-in tournament. In the play-in tournament, there will be 2 brackets of 3 teams each. It will be a single round robin format for these teams, and the 2 winners of those brackets will advance to the quarterfinals. And yung quarterfinals natin, it will be a best of 3 series. So there's no significant advantage. Walang twice to beat. But ang advantage siguro ng higher seeds is that you will be going up against the lower seeded team. So it's nice for them to head into that round knowing na natalo mo na yung maharap mo.
That's true. But what we need to factor in here is everything that these teams learned along the way. So we see that they're all professionals. They are able to adjust their game. So your first meeting may not necessarily look like your second meeting, and that is what we're excited to see. Durell Singh. That was a good serve. And Romal got a hand on it, but masyadong sharp ang palo ni Brooke Van Sickle. That's her third point today.
That's a strong kill from Brooke Van Sickle.
She likes those angles.
That was against the tallest blockers of Capital 1, Leila Cruz and Villegas.
And you're right about Petro Gazz fielding all sorts of players, also to keep the opponents guessing and to get the entire team ready for the second round. Good heads up again by Iris. And you target the girl who just walked in to the floor. And that is Musa. Leila Cruz will score. Petro Gazz still leads by 4, but by not much more. So Cap1 still looking to lead or at least tie the game. And that one is going to be a point for Petro Gazz. So it's going to be called off the block, but Capital 1 will ask for a video challenge on that one. Did you see it?
It's going to be a block touch challenge. Well, the ball definitely hit the tape of the net, but kailangan pa rin natin makita kung tumama yun sa kamay ng blocker, because even if it hits the tape of the net, nagkakaroon pa rin ng moments na nagre-rebound siya dun sa kamay ng blockers. So this can be a good challenge for Coach Roger Gorayev.
Of course, the legendary coach Roger Gorayev seems to be well, right back where he belongs. Everybody missed him in the pros, and he is mentoring these girls. Yeah.
There was
tumama sa tape, pero tumama rin sa kamay.
Block touch on Trisha Genesis.
Yeah, so the point will stay with Petro Gazz. At this point, you want to say it's worth a challenge because we're getting deep into the first set, and Petro Gazz already with a 5-point advantage after that unsuccessful challenge. Staying with a good first ball. And again, very tough going against the blockers of Petro Gazz. Maiso Podillas is back on the court. And she has 2 points already.
That was a smart 1-2 play from Maiso Pontillas. Blockers weren't ready. Looked like it was intentional. Hiningi talaga niya na idikit ni Nicole Tiamzon sa net so that she can go for that hit.
Oh! And we don't see that often. Usually, si Rem Palma, papatay na lang niya yan eh. But just the same, Capital 1 will get the ball back, and they should capitalize, as their name suggests, on this opportunity here to score a run, which they need to do right about now. Palma playing basketball. Good read by Cruz. Blockers too much for Capital 1. Arbon got her hand on it. Brooke Van Sickle's timing it. And we have a rally again. Rem Palma making up for that last mishap. 4 points right away for Rem.
She will match her output in their game against Zeus Coffee. Dito lang sa first set na yan.
Pumasok ka dito. Masyado ka nandun sa loob. Balik ka kaagad dito. Kasi hindi natin malaman kung yung susunod na action nila. Kadikit sa net. Pag malayo, okay yan. Pag dikit sa net, si Remy ang gulang. Tutulakan ka ng tutulakan ng mabilis. Kaya lang, mas mabilis. Hakbang mo yung paa mo doon. Di pa rin sa'yo.
Defense was still the point of concern for Coach Roger Gorayev in that timeout.
It's so interesting to listen to the inputs of Coach Roger kasi he's coming from a place where he has seen these players from day one. Alam na alam niya yung mga tendencies nitong mga manlalarong ito. Oh, that one escapes Temperatura, and that's another point. Good time out there for Capital One. Get a chance here to rally and get some points in a row.
When you're pushed out of system, the outside hitters really need to deliver convincing hits. And yun yung dinadala ni Trisha Genesis sa Capital One. It was a break ball, high ball, but she was still able to get a good swing. But again, their defense has to be organized so that they can compete head-to-head with the Petro Gazz Angels. This is now a 6-point lead for the red shirts.
I mean, right now, just too many options for Petro Gazz. If you are Coach Koji, on the other hand, you are looking at the tally sheet, and you should be happy seeing that everybody is scoring, not just Brooke. Pablo again trying to go cross court. Good read there by Capital One, but ball right back. And a point again for Petro Gazz, and they are stretching their lead. Now a 7-point advantage. Block of the set brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Oh, we got more new faces. Now we got Galdones. Casey Galdones also on the court. Parang nalaro na yata halos lahat, ano?
But I think that's the goal of Coach Koji, na magamit lahat ng players.
Good first ball. Musa contributes to the scoring. She has to look at this spread. Neil Pablo, of course, leading the pack with 6 points, but Palma has 4, Bensico 3, Phillips 2, same with Pontillas and Musa. Tiamson contributing 1, so great spread.
It's all about quick side outs for Janelle Cheng. You don't want to give any kind of momentum to Capital1 Solar Spikers. Now you're just 2 points away from winning that opening set.
Iris Holinada now serving for Capital One.
A strong serve, which is what Capital One needs. That was a tough one. We know Iris Colonada has that in her arsenal.
Out of all of the stat lines that we're seeing right now for Capital One, has been their serving has been very consistent here in set number 1.
First time before no many 3 point. Focus, focus. You have a game. You have a next set. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Hey, Petro Gazz Angels. Finish strong.
Just 2 more points. Petro Gazz needs to win this first set. Capital One, as you mentioned, Neil is strong at the serve. And they can keep a rally going, but usually it ends with a point with Petro Gazz. You know, they're able to get points here and there, just in spurts. But that's not enough to beat the Angels. Running attack. And another thing you can do is to just force the other team to commit errors.
The lead is down to 4. And pagpatapos ng isang set, yun naman yung gusto ng isang team na naghahabol. You want to gain more momentum as you head into set number 2. But again, these quick side outs keep on coming from the Petro Gazz Angels. This time it was Janelle Cheng on that drop ball. Nobody expected it.
Oh, parang may ano na eh. May patent na si Janelle Cheng dito sa mga drop ball. Now another new face, Adolfo, coming in for the first time in this game. Good pickup. Ball back to Petro Gazz. Van Sickle will go, and it's her cross-court hit that will win this first set. 25-19, the final score. Capital One tried. They had some good moments. As we take a look at this last point by PBS.
She will always be your finisher.
Yes.
That's a given.
Yes, and it's usually that cut shot that is so difficult to stop. We'll be back to talk about the first set after the break. First set win for the Petro Gazz Angels against the Capital1 Solar Spikers, 25-19. So it ended up with a 6-point win by Petro Gazz. Capital1 managed to keep it a lot closer in the first part of this set, pero when Petro Gazz just got their groove, there was no looking back.
Capital1 scored multiple points off that service line, but there were just a lot of ball control issues on that first ball, on their transition defense. Hindi talaga nagko-connect yung unang pasa, kaya naghahabol si Iris Tolenada. Meanwhile, for the Petro Gazz Angels, they had a whopping 49% attack efficiency in that opening frame. I mean, the numbers will already speak for itself. 20 attacks for Capital1. Only, 20 for Petro Gazz and only 7 for the Capital1 Solar Spikers. Although Petro Gazz gave more 3 points of the unforced errors category. So here in set number 2, yun muna yung kailangan ayusin ng Capital1. They have to take it slow. Parang I feel like minamadali sila ng Petro Gazz at hindi sila nakaka-adapt dun sa speed. So they have to drag the Angels to their own tempo so that they can control set number 2.
They want to, try to set the pace and then dictate the pace in this second set. And surprisingly, though, they were able to slow the ball down at the block. We said that that's not their strongest suit, but I think it was surprising even to their defenders. Sabi mo nga, that hindi nasusuportahan yung rebound, and that's something that they can fix. And I think Coach Roger is still looking for the right mix of players. He's trying some new players. I see Jola Alvarez is on the court. So she did not play in the first set.
Heather Guinaw is also in the starting
that's
six.
right. She is now the target and the ace coming from Van Sickle. So Brooke Van Sickle is the best server in the league. She's actually all over the stat sheets. She, kung pumasok pa siya as one of the top 10 setters, talagang hindi ko na alam. But she is top 10 in everything. 4th best scorer, the 3rd best spiker. She is the 10th best blocker. Of course, number 1 server, number 6 in digs, and number 9 in receive. How about the all-around player, Brooke Van Sickle? MVP.
In every game that she plays in, talagang MVP numbers yung nilalabas ni Brooke Van Sickle. Out of all of the categories that you mentioned, blocking yung pinaka nagulat ako kasi usually middles and opposites talaga yung nasa top 10. As an outside hitter, to be part of that top 10, it just means that you're getting a lot of defensive stops as well.
She's such an asset. And Myla Pablo, though, is the top scorer so far for Petro Gazz, which is, I'm saying, it's a welcome development for Petro Gazz, because then you're seeing that they are able to win games without depending too much on Brooke. Look at Capital One just keeping the ball alive. Cheng going back to... Oh, look at that. That must feel good. Now the blocking working early in the second set for Capital One. Let's turn it over to Jana Ahito for her report.
Petro Gazz Angels have 3 games to go, including this one here in the preliminary rounds of the All-Filipino Conference. And team captain Rem Palma was able to share with me how that second spot in the standings means to them, especially with everyone finally on board. And as their team captain, one thing she's making sure is that they gain some momentum. I quote her saying, "Kaakibat na yung second place. Di talaga kami makaka-look forward sa part na yon, that consistent yung momentum namin." Well, Chigi and Neil would set one in the bag for the Angels. It looks like that momentum they're looking for could definitely be on the way. Meanwhile, I'll send it over to you both.
Thanks, Jana. The momentum, of course, in the 6-game winning streak for Petro Gazz. And you know, it's tough when they are on a roll, when they are in rhythm, in sync. It's really tough to stop them. MJ Phillips there. 3 points for her now.
Getting a point off of her good friend, Iris Tolenada. These were very competitive.
So yun yung mga hindi alam ng marami. Besties pala sila. Oh! Good point there. Heather Ginoo is making an impact here for Capital One. She already has 2 points.
One off the block and one off of this combination play from the middle. Donut hole in the defense of the Petro Gazz Angels.
Oh, heavy hands, a little too much for Leila Cruz. Has to adjust a little bit. We talked about how the serving went really well for Capital One in the first set. Look at those numbers for Myla Pablo. The thing that is most impressive about that is it is more than the output of Van Sickle. Oh, wow. Points in a row for Capital One, and they lead for the first time in this match.
This might be the solution to the problems on offense for Capital One. We also know that Heather Ginoo is a strong server. Yan yung naging role niya for a time. She comes in to score 1 or 2 points off that line.
Good first ball there.
Wow.
Love starting off with that excellent receive. Bilis ni MJ Phillips, 4 points for her. And that spike of the set brought to you by Duncan, pasalubong ng bayan. She ended up with double digits against Zeus Coffee in that last game. So slowly but surely, she is getting to her 100%. Joust won by Tolenada. Van Sickle, Doug. Ginoo also playing good defense. And you credit that to Ginoo for saving the ball. But Chola Alvarez with the finisher. And again, you know, Chola Alvarez, of course, and Tolenada used to play together in, they did, didn't they? And so, you know, you want to take advantage of that also. High ball. Ball still alive. Capital One playing awesome defense. But it's a free ball for Petro Gazz. Running attack. And may masters na si Rem Palma dyan sa kanyang running attack.
5 points already for Rem Palma. We saw that fast play coming. It was a free ball from Capital One.
They were together in ano, diba? F2. Si Iris tsaka si Chola Alvarez. So let's a sneaky one. And if you get the setter on the other side who keeps doing that to you, retribution, sabi ni Iris, ako naman.
This is the balance we've been looking for dun sa scoring ng Capital One. We saw points from Heather Ginoo, Chola Alvarez. Now it's Iris Tolenada.
Capital One definitely looking better in the second set. Good serve. And on the second ball again, Brooke Van Sickle will get the point and the ball back. She's at 6 now.
Only second to the production of Myla Pablo.
Serving from Petro Gazz, Brooke Van Sickle.
Oh, the tough serve. Petro Gazz gets to go again. Back row attack. Oh, wow, look at Nang Aiza. You know, we've been calling her name out a lot today. And at 8-7, Petro Gazz getting the lead back. We'll talk more about that after this technical timeout. Lead is back to Petro Gazz after trailing in the first part of the second set. I mean, props to Capital One for really bringing a different game into the second set. And we see a different combination of players also on the court.
Both teams have had struggles in passing here in the second set. For Capital One, they have to find a way na kaya pa rin nilang umatake even if they're out of system. There were a couple of times that you saw overballs, I mean underhand free passes papunta sa Petro Gazz, and yun yung mga immediate conversions ng Angels. So you try your best talaga na pahirapan yung defenders instead of just putting that ball over.
Good first ball by Alvarez. And this is going to be a back row attack. Van she still manages to squeeze that one through. Pati siya natawa.
She didn't expect to score because the timing was way off. That was just an ad-lib play from the Angels. So sometimes yung mga alanganin na plays na ganun, pwede mo din bitawan if you're the blocker on the other side of the court.
And Shola Alvarez definitely making a difference, just like Heather Ginoo. And you're seeing there's a lot of disorganized chaos. There's a lot of chaos on the side of Capital One, but then you have these players who are individually playing well. So if they just all come together and gel as a team, I think it'll work out for them. Like maganda nakikita natin from Shola, from Heather Ginoo.
They've been consistent in passing, I mean in serving as well. But again, yung mga out-of-system plays, parang kabisado na ng Petro Gazz. There's no easy ball.
Yeah. Ball back to the Angels, and they're enjoying a 2-point lead. And from Jana's report earlier, we know Rem Palma is relishing their second place finish. That one flaw in their record coming from Creamline, who has not lost the game yet. Sky ball. Chance here for Petro Gazz. MJ Phillips. Oh, look at the defense from Iris Tolenada. Back row attack. Rally continues. Pontillas pushes the ball in. Good placement shot. Better read by Alvarez. What a rally. Pablo hitting the antenna. And that point will go to Capital One. Yan ang talagang chinaga.
Pablo wanted to go for a power tip, but the ball was just too close to the antenna. Great defense being shown by the Capital1 Solar Spikers. You can see the grit.
Yep. And the focus. They didn't lose it. Good serve. Oh, wow. But the defense again, keeping the ball alive. Here comes Tolenada, pushing it through. You know, there with a save. And Cruz tried. These are good exchanges. And the block of the set brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. That was a pretty good block. Nice offensive block there. Very textbook. Good dig by Pontillas. Pablo sending the ball over. Chola Alvarez coming from back row, and that one is called outside.
Petro Gazz is starting to build on that lead. So Capital1 just has to be careful with these unforced errors. Kasi nakakasabay na sila sa floor defense, and even in attacking, they're more aggressive now. The defense is finally clicking for the Solar Spikers.
That was tough for, you know, because you saw that the blockers were stacked at the right in the face of Heather Ginoo. And she couldn't get it through that wall of Petro Gazz. Timeout.
Yan yung pumalo ng pumalo. Basta i-coverage natin. Huwag niyong pababayaan. Pero hindi siya nawawalan ng loob. Ayaw mong pumalo. Mablock. Kunin nyo. Lalaki na naman yung lamang eh. Isa na lang yan eh. 10-9 yan. At 3 puntos sila. Habulin nyo maigi. Kayo mga libero. Umayos kayo.
Nice one! Go! Nice one. Sap, tuloy mo. Kapital! Ano kayo? Talk.
That was a great point from Coach Roger. He was thinking about the point of view of the hitter. Kasi pag na-block ka, tapos lumapag sa floor nyo, magkakaroon ng seed of doubt. But when your teammate is always there to cover you, hindi ka matatakot to keep on delivering those strong hits.
Pablo again, just finding the vulnerable zone 6 there of Capital1, and a lot that these kids are learning from the experience of Coach Roger. That was our theme in our pre-game, no? How we were talking about that these players just constantly improving their game as the tournament goes on. And a combination attack. Has a great play there. Tolenada was able to orchestrate that one, and Ginoo now with 4 points.
Yeah, she's now the leading scorer for the Capital1 Solar Spikers.
That's a challenge, and for the coach, you find the one player who's hot. Usually, and it might be a bench player, somebody. The magic bunot is definitely Heather Ginoo of today for the Capital1 Solar Spikers. He's running attacks. Again, like say, almost synonymous to Petro Gazz.
In this table, everybody eats, says Janelle Che.
I like that. But it's Pablo who is in a solo lead with a double digits here. She has 10 points so far. The only one in the entire field in double digits. Tolenada pushing it to Ginoo again. Good coverage. Another chance. Now it's Petro Gazz setting up. Van Sickle going deep. Alvarez with a great chase. Let's see where Cheng goes. Again. Romal. Great scrambling on the Capital side. And tinaga nila ng tinaga hanggang magkamali na ang Petro Gazz.
They just wanted to keep the ball in play. Tatlong chanceable yung binigay nila sa Petro Gazz Angels, but they still managed to score that point.
You gotta hand it to Capital One. We mentioned at the top of our coverage that they are a very highly ranked digging squad. They are up there. They're number 4 in the league. Of course, Petro Gazz is the second best digger as a team. So we're seeing that play out on the court. We have a timeout, second technical timeout with Petro Gazz, extending their lead to 5. Phil Sports Arena for the first of our doubleheader this Tuesday. Great day for volleyball, and we are glad you are on hand. This is day number 27. A couple more days in the preliminaries until we head off into the play-in tournament, where the second half of the rankings of the teams will go at it to see which two teams will be able to play on in the semifinals. Oh, that is a very short serve from Musa.
He wasn't able to hit that ball properly. Na-stress din yung bench players ng Petro Gazz.
Oh, quick again. This time it is Caldones who was able to score. Talagang lahat, buffet.
Yeah.
Inanda ni Janelle Cheng for all. Caldones now contributing to the scoring of Petro Gazz. Good first ball there by Ginoo. Oh, wow! That one came back, but almost a point for Tolenada. And you really still credit that 1-2 because it got Petro Gazz all frazzled. And the transition over Capital side was good, and they were able to score.
Villegas finally gets on the board for Capital One. That is the first point of Villegas in this game.
Back set, Van Sickle from the right pin. That one escapes Toromal, but look at least 2 players from the Solar Spikers really just running after the ball. Never say die attitude from these girls in yellow.
Brooke Van Sickle is just the master of broken plays. Basta itaas mo lang sa kanya, siya na bahala na gumawa ng paraan. More substitutions from Coach Koji.
Good serve. That was a tough one. Oh, ball still alive. Again, good defense from both squads. Tiamson finally kills it. Pero talaga, ang Capital One para silang mga ang galing nila mag-CPR. Lagi nilang binubuhay yung bola na akala mo patay na. And we have a timeout.
Kontrolin yung maigi. Kailangan Pati reception, misreceive doon. Nahihirapan na yung setter mag-decide. Para puro open tayo. Walang dumadating na maganda dun sa harapan. Hingi kayo ng bola rito sa likuran. Sino ba nasa likod? Humingi kayo ng bola. Pwede naman tayong mag-backline. Para hindi naman nakakarga lahat yung opensa doon sa
Send some frustration from Coach Roger.
Well, Iris Tolenada has been really trying her best to give the best sets. Pero pag wala talagang pasa, wala talagang choice. I mean, she will just set that up for the wing spiker. And yun yung ayaw ni Coach Roger, na masyado na silang loaded dun sa wings at nababantayan na ng mga defenders ng Petro Gazz.
Ooh. And what is the call? I think there's somebody at the net. That was an almost good save. And back to Iris Tolenada and her efforts. You see her athleticism. She's running around all over the court, chasing after that first the ball. Try to set it up. So you're right, the effort is there. Big lead for Petro Gazz. Capital One, mind you, was able to take the lead 5-4 early in the second set. Break here for Solar Spikers. They get a point off of that error at the serve by Brooke Van Sickle.
Serving for Capital 1, Solar.
Shola Alvarez was off the bench, coming in the second set. She has 2 points already. Tiamson, dug by Doromal. Alvarez from back row. Barbon took care of that one. Tiamson again, Tolenada with the answer. Broken play here. Cruz hits it. Tiamson keeps it alive. Tiamson again, getting a lot of touches in the sequence. Cruz going cross court. And that one is too wide.
That's another unforced error from Capital One. Leila Cruz has been trying to go to different angles. Pero again, nababantayan ng blockers ng Petro Gazz. So she was forced to go to that sharp cross-court angle, but it was just too strong.
Another service error. That's 2 in a row from Petro Gazz Angels, and Capital One really should exploit these errors at the serve. We got the tall girls back for Capital One. Balik na sa court. You see Des Clemente is probably the tallest player on, one of the tallest players, because you get Emily Phillips. She's only contributed 2. Tough, really tough for Capital One now, because Petro Gazz is just putting on the heat.
Yeah. Again, the blockers were there for Capital One. They got a good touch on the hit of Nicole Tiamson, but yung backcourt defense, it's not as organized as they want it to be. That has been the main focus of the timeouts of Coach Roger, yung mga errors nila in passing.
And again, an open spike, but that one worked out. So it's the quick transition that paid off for Capital One. And again, she is really, what keeps them afloat.
Heather Ginoo continues to be the best option for Iris Tolenada here in set number 2. 5 points for Heather.
When we have a timeout.
Go, let's go. Next set. Go. Don't do that. Look at floor.
Start with pass.
Go. Yo.
One pass tayo. Tatlo na.
Don't stop.
Go. Next point. Go, Chi. Hey, Petro Gazz.
First time out. called by Coach Koji. His team still with a 5-point lead. First game ended 25-19. Petro Gazz winning that one for those of you just joining our coverage.
Serving for Capital1, Layla Cruz.
We saw Capital with a good start in the second set, but errors now coming from the serve as well. This is not going to help their cause.
Petro Gazz is at warning point.
Serving Nicole Camzon.
Like you said, Neil, this is a time when Petro Gazz are a shoe-in already for the next round. They're trying to test their players on the court to make sure that everybody is ready for these semis. So we're seeing all of them, most of them, getting some playing time today.
Block will be credited to Rania Musa. Also, one of the players na galing injury. It's nice to see her healthy.
And that is the kind of thing that you want to see more of. We talked about Des Clemente and really how her height is really an asset that has yet to be exploited and really used, no?
I agree. I feel like hindi nila na ma-maximize yung height ni Des Clemente de Guzman because of the passes. But every chance that they get, pinupuntahan naman ni Iris si Des. But we will end the second set with that service error from Capital1. That has been the story of the second set.
Quite anticlimactic, but it is what it is for Capital1, and they give up that second set, 25-18, as you see on your screens. And we'll go on to play our third set, but talk about set number 2 after the break. 25-18. That is the story for the second set. Another win for Petro Gazz. The first set, as you see on your screens, almost similar fashion, 25-19. Pero actually, iba yung takbo nitong second set kahit parang magkapareho yung scores, no, from the first set.
Yeah, it was the same problem for both teams. Yun yung mga minor details na kailangan ayusin. But for Capital 1, they started out really strong. They were able to keep that ball alive multiple times doon sa mga mahahabang rally.
Yeah.
I mean, their grit just helped them score those points. But somewhere along the middle of the set, medyo nag-collapse yung defense nila. There were points na naghagulo dun sa loob ng court. Again, there were a lot of chance ball given to the Petro Gazz Angels. So attacking was still better for Petro Gazz. 16 compared to the 10 of Capital 1. This time around, blocking was good for Petro Gazz in set number 2. 3 blocks against the 1 of Capital 1. Nawala yung serving advantage ng Capital 1 because of those errors on that line. But when it comes to excellent bigs, parehas lang sila. Both have 11 excellent bigs in set number 2. So defense, they had their good moments, but they just really have to be consistent until the end of the set. Coach Roger was already pointing out the frustration of Iris Tolinada because she was chasing after all of these balls in transition.
Well, they have one more chance to adjust again. It's very important to make these in-game adjustments. And I think that is where you appreciate the likes of Roger Garayev at the helm. Because that is the kind of thing he knows to do. It's just up to the girls to heed the call and to really take it upon themselves to look to play as a team. Kasi individually, makikita mo yung magandang performances din nila. And they are in spurts. So you want to just get things together, minimize the errors, cause the other team to lapse into these errors because as you saw in the stats, hindi rin naman malinis ang linalaro ng Petro Gazz.
There will be a change in the starting unit again for Coach Roger Gorayev. Estrella will get the starting nod for the yellow shirts. Babalik si Coach Koji dun sa
starting six
niya. He wants to end in a strong fashion.
Van Sickle with her 9th point. This is also something that takes them getting used to. Van Sickle still not in double digits. And not because she's not playing well. It's because, see, Janelle Cheng is choosing to activate every other player on the court. Wow, great reach. Temperatura there. What an effort at the save. And the ball dies on the side of Capital 1. But that was really a great show by Petro Gazz there, both on defense and offense. Oh, good serve. And again, you see the serving and the defense. Oh, that time she got caught. Couldn't sweep fast enough. Van Sickle could not keep the ball alive. Siguro ang sarap kung makapatay ka ng bola, lalo na kung si Van Sickle pa yung china-challenge mo.
I was about to say she has been solid as a rock. Just a sweeper's position. She has been popping up all of the attacks from Capital 1, but naisahan siya doon ng Solar Spikers.
Pontillas. And you know, we want to take a moment to talk about Isa Pontillas. If you were already on hand and if you joined us from the top of our coverage, we heard many of the girls from the Petro Gazz team talking about how they look up to their Nang Isa and how she really mothers all of them. But the way she's playing now, para siyang mga kaedad lang nila. She has really, I don't know, she has discovered the fountain of youth. Playing so strong still. And Musa there, using her height advantage as well. Cheng just putting it right at her hand. 4 points for Musa already.
Keeping it simple, that was just a power tip. Against a single block from Capital 1. This is now a 3-point lead for the Petro Gazz Angels.
Oh, and the service ace from Palma still very excited about that one. She has 6 points to her name, and Petro Gazz seems to be cruising through this third set.
Re-receive muna tayo bago tayo maka-opensa. Saan-saan lumilipad ang bola niya eh. Tuloy, nag-o-open na lang. Hindi nyo na-control yan, walang mangyayari. Pag hindi pumalo kayo, pamatay, hindi pang-over lang. Okay na naman ma-block yung coverage na lang. Kesa yung pechay-pechay lang yung palo niya, paltok-paltok lang na gano'n. Babalikan tayo ng matinding palo eh. Gamitin niyo naman ng konting pagiging smart nito.
Welcome back to PVL 2025. You're still watching the Capital1 Solar Spikers go up against the Petro Gazz Angels. And earlier at the second set, when the Solar Spikers were going toe-to-toe with the Petro Gazz Angels, this reminded me of what Leila Cruz told me earlier. And I quote her say, "Isang takeaway para sa akin is how nakakasabay talaga kami sa ibang teams." After all, with their current spot in the standings, she says hopeful is the word to describe where the Solar Spikers are at their journey right now. She adds that even for their coaches, it could be quite a difficult task to steer this growing team, but the optimism is there. And from the sidelines, Chiki and Neil, I could feel the joy of the Solar Spikers with every point they've made in this match. So let's see where optimism drives them here in set 3.
You know, Jana, you really cannot underestimate the mindset of a team and a player. And even if it doesn't end up with a win here, it's how they are going to be able to just improve as they go along. And you're right, the never to say die attitude is key also for Capital1. Buhay ang bola. It's a good save there. Ginoo again. Dug this time by Van Sickle. Pablo going up one more time. This time it's good. Cross-court hits by Myla Pablo. It's just too difficult to stop. 12 points for Typhoon Pablo.
The defense of Brooke Van Sickle and the offense of Myla Pablo.
Yeah.
That has been the story of this match.
Heather Ginoo with an answer. I think she should be getting more touches, really.
That's a more convincing hit from Capital1. Yun yung pinoint out ni Coach Roger. Hindi pwedeng mahina
Petchay.
yung petchay. Yung term ni Coach Roger. Hindi pwedeng mahina yung ibibigay natin kasi pag bumalik yan, bomba yung ibabalik ng Petro Gazz.
Ginoo with 7 points already. But Maisa Padillas again still causing some damage here. She has 5 points to her name. And we are at our first technical timeout. Petro Gazz leads by 6. The annual NBA Watch and Win is back. Watch the live games on NBA TV Philippines, One Sports and Filipinas Live from January 13 to February 16. And wait for the questions to be flashed on screen during breaks. Visit nba.onesports.ph after to send your answers. Back to the action here at the Phil Sports Arena. Petro Gazz Angels on the road to victory. They have won the first two sets against Capital 1, 25-19, 25-18. They are leading by 6 now in this third set. A must-win situation for the Solar Spikers, and Myla Pablo is just making it very difficult for them.
From power hits to drop balls, she has done it all for Petro Gazz.
The runaway top scorer, Myla Pablo, so far with 13 points.
You just know Petro Gazz is in a good position pag hindi ganun kadami yung attempts ni Brooke Van Sickle. It means that all the other players are performing.
Van Sickle only now getting to double digits. Solar Spikers, to look back at their performance in the first part of this tournament, they did well. They were playing 4-set, 5-setters. They won a game back in November against Next Led, but it has been downhill since then. Play continues. Myla Pablo again swats the ball over. Good defense still for Capital 1. Pablo one more time, and it's a cross-court hit. The Romal just could not keep it in play.
Now a 9-point lead for the Petro Gazz Angels.
Myla Pablo, 14 points. Oh, Clemente. They just really need to come up with more of those instant points.
One of the best hits so far in this game for the Capital 1 Solar Spikers. So yun, may advantage ka when you have Clemente de Guzman in the front line. But will you be able to maximize it? You have to deliver these passes to the setter's box para magamit ni Iris Tolinada yung height ni Clemente de Guzman.
Back row attack. And Van Sickle, you know that she is lethal from anywhere on the court.
And that's not 100% of the power from Brooke Van Sickle.
Alam nga niya na hindi niya win 100%, pero pumasok pa rin. Ooh! And that was good on De Guzman to keep the ball in play. Cheng, a quick, bit outside, but I think Musa touched it last. So Capital 1 will get the point, but this is a lopsided third set, considering Capital 1 already gave up the first two. So they really need to hustle, they need to rally and play impeccable defense. Here comes Van Sickle from the left pin now. Good D for Capital 1. And that was a great conversion. So bigyan mo si Iris na magandang pasa, and she will create. That's 6 for Clemente de Guzman.
You can also see her really asking for the ball. Kasi nung first set, di talaga siya masyadong nakahawak eh. But now na mas may stable passing yung Capital 1, hinihingi niya na yung bola kay Iris.
Back row attack, and it's good to also vary it because there's the other hot hand, which is Heather Ginoo, actually the top scorer for Capital 1. And we know that Iris Tolinada, she used to coach also. She was in the national team. You know that she's got the talent and she's got the wherewithal to be able to create plays.
Ooh, tough serve.
Tough break.
Sayang kasi Heather is one of their best servers.
Yeah.
Basta pumasok ko lang yung bola, ang daming pwedeng mangyari. Now, Ethan Arce will check in. So I think lahat na ng players ng Petro Gazz nagamit ni Coach Koji.
Ethan Arce.
Oh, too strong. Off the bench. Di pa na-estima ng maayos. So again, a chance here for Capital One. I mean, they've closed the gap a little bit.
Now serving best defending this time.
Chang looking for Palma. Good up by De Guzman. Back row attack. Australia will convert. And that's her first point. And these could break, these breaks. I mean, Capital One, they're able to get these breaks, get these well-earned points. But they have to come in succession talaga.
You can also see it in the eyes of Iris. She's really locked in. She's super focused. And alam niyang kaya pa nilang makahabol. So they have to keep this up.
Look at her just run after the ball. Orenda it again with a second chance. Yeah, but A for effort. Orenda tried, couldn't do it. And that is going to be a point for and Janelle Cheng has 3 points already. Block of the set brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference.
Coach Roger, I've been looking for steady coverage dito sa Capital 1 Solar Spikers. I think gusto niya makuha kay Trisha Genesis yon, but before anything else, they have to get that first pass first.
And that, I believe, is 2 aces already for Myla Pablo. I think she started the game with a strong serve. So Petro Gazz looking very good here in their penultimate game in the preliminaries. I think they have one more game after this against Next Led. So it looks like they are going to improve. They're standing even further. Although we don't want to call it quits just yet. But we are at our second tactical timeout, and Petro Gazz is leading by 8 big points. SB Finance, ang BFF na malalapitan. Some of our fans, our happy fans, good-looking fans here at the Phil Sports Arena, enjoying this first game and also getting ready for the second game of tonight between Creamline and Farm Fresh Foxy's. Taking a look at Petro Gazz, they have 2 games left. Check that. But these are against the Galleries, High Risers, and Next Led. Yes. Capital One still has to play Farm Fresh. And the solo block again. Dalawa na si Rem Palma. Just going at it alone and getting the point off the block. She has 7 today.
Coverage is still missing from the Capital 1 Solar Spikers. Yes, nabablock ng Petro Gazz, but when you take a look at the trajectory of the ball, hindi naman mabilis yung balik. Medyo may pagka-loop din na mataas, so kaya pa sanang buhayin. They really have to anticipate na babalik yung bola.
It's really just the read also. And they don't want the service aces to come now. Ngayon pa talaga umuulan ng mga service ace dito sa Petro Gazz. And talagang mapapailig na lang Capital One. Ngayon pa nagsa-service ace. Of course, if you're Petro Gazz Angels, this is the team that you want to see entering the semifinals. Solid and total team effort for them today. Back row attack, Pablo just tipping the ball over. Nalada looking back row for Jarrell Singh as well. That one too long. We see that Jarrell Singh usually looks at the baseline. She got it a couple of times earlier in the first set. But it's hit or miss for Singh, and it's a consistency that is lacking for Capital One today.
Hindi ka ba nag-warm up? Ano lang, pagtyagaan nyo lang, kumain tayo, huwag tayong magpakain sa kanila. Kaya naman, basta paluin nyo, siguraduhan na lang na palo yan. Huwag nyo lang ibigay na easy ball, babalikan tayo ng palo eh ha. Coverage natin, huwag nyo pababayaan. Lagi ko na lang sinasabi yung coverage, lagi lang kayong
sound like a broken record, pero yun talaga yung nagiging point of concern for Capital One. It has been their coverage. Yung follow-up sa likod ng attacker.
And like you said, you brought up a good point, which was emphasized by Coach Roger. That is what will give your attackers the confidence to keep going if they know that they are supported by their teammates at the coverage. Here's a chance for Cap One. Genesis.
Great pickup from Temperatura.
Temperatura, what a stretch there. And Adolfo. I mean, she just came in and she's got 2 points. So lahat yata, halos lahat gumagawa para sa Petro Gazz. Total team effort for the Angels. Now we got Paralejas at the serve. And you want to see her on the scoreboard too. That will leave just the liberos without points. Niegos for Capital One, able to contribute as well.
Capital One is just taking it 1 point at a time.
Yeah, this is all but over for Capital One, but they want to see how far they can go, how many more they can score against Petro Gazz. Wow, but Jarrell Singh had her hands on that one. Another chance. Paralejas now doing the setting chores. She actually started the game before this one.
There are so many options in the front line for Paralejas. They went for that quick attack.
And spike of the set brought to you by Duncan Pasalubong ng Bayan. AC Galdonas with 2 points. And this is a blowout of a third set. Somebody was at the net. And I think it's Petro Gazz, or is it? Nope, it's going to be called against Capital One still. Just everything going wrong for Capital One. Australia again blowing it, and now it is the unforced errors.
Yeah.
It's just about game over here for Capital One. Petro Gazz can look forward and start thinking about the next 2 games, which if we base it on the rankings, should not be too difficult for them. Galleries and next led up next against Petro Gazz in the remaining days of the first round. Here, the All-Filipino. Again, just 3 unforced errors. Oh, that one is called in favor of Capital One. Of course, there's a video. Challenge pa rin, ano? Walang palalagpasin ng Petro Gazz despite the huge lead.
Adolfo really asked for that challenge because she's confident that there was no block touch. The ball was flat in that hit of Estrella, so they might have a good case for this block touch challenge.
Let's see what gives. Of course, double-digit lead already here for Petro Gazz. And running down the scores again, Myla Pablo will end up at the top here with 14 points. Bansico scores 12. Phillips had 6. Musa with 5. Opalma had 7. And pati si Cheng, si Janelle Cheng naka 5 points. Isa Maiso Pontilas contributing 5 points. Adolfo with 2. Tiam Son had 3. I mean, what a great spread. This is really something that Petro Gaz's coach should be happy about. Let's see. There was no block called.
No block touch. Point will go to the Petro Gazz Angels.
So really, it's a string of unforced errors coming from Capital One late in this game. This must-win third set. What a strong serve. Just a beautiful ace coming from the #1 server in the league. And that's given her 13 points and a win. What a fitting way to end this sweep by Petro Gazz against Capital One. But still, it is Myla Pablo emerging as the top scorer for the Angels with 14 points.
Started with a service ace from Myla Pablo and ended with a service ace from PVL. And another straight set win for the Petro Gazz Angels.
The MVP strike again. Look at the numbers there. Just really a dominant win. A cakewalk, actually, for Petro Gazz. We'll take a quick break and talk more about these these sets after the break. This is a romp, a straight set win for Petro Gazz, who are at top of the standings, second only to Creamline, the undefeated team, who is, by the way, getting ready to take center stage after this game. And let's turn it over to Jana Ahido, who is with our player of the game.
Thanks so much, Chiki. I am with our player of the game, Myla Pablo of the Petro Gazz Angels with 14 points, 12 attacks, 1 block and 1 ace. Myla, ang dami mo ng player of the game awards. Tell me what's behind this consistency. Anong nagmo-motivate sa'yo to be this consistent, especially na pa-end na yung prelims?
Well, syempre, alam ko naman na isa ako sa inaasahan ng team and then with the coaches. Kailangan talaga mag-step up ako sa loob ng court. And hindi lang mag-step up, siguro yung leadership ko sa loob ng court. Kailangan makita ng mga bata and especially mga coaches namin.
And your previous match was 4 sets, very close game. Pero eto, you made it look so smooth, so easy. Tell me, what were your thoughts during this game?
Well, kasi yung game namin against Zeus talaga, sobrang dami naming mga errors. So, kailangan talaga in the next day sa training namin, kailangan may apply namin yung mga dapat na kailangan sa loob ng court. And then, kailangan namin training namin yung mga errors namin nung against Zeus. And ito nga, game namin ng Capital1. And syempre, we know naman Capital na grabe din yung intense ng game namin ngayon. And kudos din talaga sa mga coaches ng Capital and mga players talaga na lumaban din sa amin na kahit na medyo hirap din kami sa kanila.
Alright, finally, any messages you'd like to give everyone watching and everyone here dito sa PhilSports Arena? Go ahead.
Binabati ko yung family ko, yung mga kapatid ko, yung mama ko, and then also sa family Villavicencio, sila Sir Chito, Sir Rafi, Ma'am Camille, and also sa mga family ng mga teammates ko. And then sa lahat ng mga sumusuporta sa amin ng Petro Gazz Angels, thank you so much po sa suporta niyo po sa amin. And kay Coach Aldo Padlillo, ingat po sa Korea.
All right, congratulations once again, Myla Pablo of the Petro Gazz Angels, your player of the game today. Back to you, Chiki and Neil.
Thanks so much, Jana. Congratulations to Myla Pablo. Well-deserved. As in, marami na nga siyang sunod-sunod na POG titles, pero ganun talaga ang nagiging tournament niya so far.
That's added confidence to Myla Pablo. We talked about her resurgence, and it's now about consistency for her. We're about to enter a crucial stage in the tournament, so they want Myla Pablo at 100%. Brooke Bansico was still there as a main player for the Petro Gazz Angels, but in the end, hindi lang talaga nasolusyonan ng Capital 1 yung mga problema nila from the first set. It was the same problems that they encountered. Coverage, passing. Petro Gazz was just all out today. It was a blowout third set, and nakita natin that everybody just chipped in.
Yeah. I mean, even with the score so lopsided, nagkakaroon pa ng service aces, nagbi-video challenge pa. I think the Petro Gazz came in today just with the decision to win as easily as they can, and that they did. And Capital 1 still not out of it. Like we said, there is that play-in tournament that is going to happen very soon. We are coming to the close of the preliminaries, but before that, let's take a look at the numbers.
Petro Gazz scored double in attacking 48 compared to the 24 Capital 1. Blocking and serving as well. Na-regain ng Petro Gazz yung composure. Set number 1, it was Capital 1 on the offensive end of the service line. But then again, when they started to commit these errors on the first pass, nag-snowball na lang to the other aspects of their game. Both teams had their unforced errors, but ultimately it was the attacking of Petro Gazz that made the difference today.
Right. We also talked about how each team is out to just learn as much as they can. And Petro Gazz will look at those stats and say, we have some errors to clean up as well moving forward from the preliminaries. And we're not done yet here at the Phil Sports Arena. Creamline is up next, going up against the Farm Fresh Foxies. Will they keep their flawless record? We'll find out soon enough. Meantime, on behalf of Jana Ejido and Neil Flores, our director Ken Natividad, our producer Carlo Grano, and all the men and women of Signal Sports, this has been Chiki Puno. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you for more volleyball here at the PVL.